Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are going to be talking about all the stuff that we can expect for part 2 of the 5th year anniversary. Calculating by the amount of days since the start of part 1 and the start of part 2 on JP, I think the date for this, at least in UK time, will be Monday the 20th, so technically for a lot of places in America it will be Sunday the 19th in the evening. But there's not 100% confirmation at the time of recording, so if by the time this video goes up, because I'll probably want to try and get it up like a day or two before part 2 starts, so if when I post the video the date has been confirmed, I will put that in a pinned comment, because obviously we are looking at the wiki, so we're looking at the JP information. So there's going to be a few things that might change, and obviously a few things that definitely will stay the same. There is a part 2 intro video, so there'll be a new intro movie. This will be, obviously the one we got was for Blue Vegeta and Gogeta. This will have more of the Zamasu and then Broly and potentially Rose stuff. Obviously the intro movie is stuff that is to do with the stuff coming up in the part, so that's to be expected. Then of course there will be daily missions and more special missions. There is the request for the Dragon Balls search campaign, so it doesn't actually say exactly on here what this is, so it's either going to be something like in-game missions or a retweet thing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Dokkan Awaken characters, Extreme Z Awaken characters, collect Zenny, stamina, training, special missions, and then defeat 1,000,000 giant ticks, which is an enemy in one of the story events. So there'll be a whole ton of rewards for doing that, including this awesome Broly and Gogeta wallpaper for the menu screen, so that is pretty cool. Then we got the new stage of the Zero Mortals plan. So I talked about this in the events video I did before part 1 started. Obviously currently the last stage we have is this one, stage 3, which lets you farm the medals to TUR the Zamasu. They will be adding these new stages. Stage 4 and 5 are kind of pointless, obviously just another couple of stages to clear, get a couple more free stones, and then stage 6 is where you will get the medals to awaken Zamasu into the LR Zamasu in Goku's body. So as you can see, 10th of February, this is when part 2 started on JP. He doesn't easy A until part 3, so that's why I've got him on this tab here. So Time Traveler's Key 3, 77% stats, Colossal damage lowers defense, and then raise defense for 1 turn, Mega Colossal on the 18 key. Attack and defense 50%, key 1 with each attack received up to 5. Launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super, 25%, when facing 2 or more enemies. And then he gets an additional attack and defense 20% with each final blow delivered, up to 50%. So obviously you want to try and get that done 3 times. You should hopefully at this point, because this is all you can do so far, you should have a Zamasu at Super Attack 10 with all of his paths open and rainbowed, then a second Zamasu at Super Attack 10, you awaken them both to LR, combine them together to get your Rainbow SA20, and then you should have a spare Zamasu also at SA5 for when he does get the Extreme Z Awakening in part 3. So then the other thing, going back to this, is the Sayin Trio led by Fate story event. So again, new stages get added, a stage for the Vegeta medals and a stage for the Broly medals. That allows you to TUR the units. So this is the Broly, Pure Saiyan's lead, attack and defense 60%, medium chance of evading enemies' attacks. He's got okay links. He has Predator Battle at least, he's on Pure Saiyans and Youth. And then there is the Vegeta and Raditz. There are joined forces or extreme lead. They supreme damage and lower attack, attack defense 60%, key 1, additional attack and 10, defense 10% per Pure Saiyan's category, attacking in the same turn. So they're okay, they're TURs, but the important thing is, if we go back to the list, is that the other thing that will drop with part 2 is the Extreme Z area for these 2 units, because yes, they will both be getting easy A's. So as you can see, they increase quite significantly. Broly gets a decent enough free-to-play Pure Saiyan's leader skill. He infinitely stacks attack and defense, so he becomes a very, very good free-to-play unit for long-form events. He also has a chance to stun, which is nice. Attack and defense 70% disables enemy's guard, medium chance of evading enemy's attacks, and then deliver the final blow to recover 20% HP. So very strong for a free-to-play unit. And then the Raditz and Vegeta, they infinitely stack attack, supreme damage, lower attack, so they don't stack defense. I didn't give my Broly any dodge. I did give these guys level 3 dodge, because their attack stat obviously is going to be able to get incredibly high, but their defense will not be the best. 70% attack and defense, key 1, additional attack and defense 20%, and chance of performing a crit 10% per Pure Saiyan's category ally attacking in the same turn. So that's decent, because another 2 Pure Saiyans on the team, they're getting another 40% attack and defense and a free 20% chance to crit. So you obviously can give them a decent amount of additional for this infinite attack stacking, because they have the built-in crit chance. And then they can launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super when your team has another joined forces category ally attacking in the same turn. So for example, if you were running them on a Pure Saiyan team, you have units like the Paragus and Broly, who are a Pure Saiyan support unit, who also are a joined forces unit. So they'd actually work really well on rotation with these guys. So that drops with part 2 as well. As you can see, release date 10th of February. So it's just like a typical Extreme Z area, where you've got one for Broly, one for Vegeta, 2 stages each for the 4 different types of medals. Now this one is pretty easy. These are the units that you have to use. You obviously have to bring Vegeta and Broly. So as soon as the event comes out with the new stages, TUR them. You should hopefully have them rainbowed and leveled up and stuff already. And then you can use, even if you're free to play, so worst case scenario, if you're completely free to play and you have terrible luck with the paid summons that you actually do, so you don't have any of the summonable units here, you can of course run the Blue Goku and Vegeta from the story event, the Broly, who has a Pure Saiyan's lead, and then the Gogeta is a free-to-play unit as well, obviously not under Pure Saiyans. There'll probably be a decent lead amongst them somewhere, but even if you have to run like Gogeta without the leader skill, you can still make the team. I mean, I guess if you had to use a unit with no leader skill, you could even use the Golden Frieza from the story event, because he's a decent enough tank. Not sure how well he would actually do without a leader skill bonus. But then of course, if you are not super unlucky, or you're paid to play and you have the access to any of these units, you can use Broly as the leader for Pure Saiyans. I would probably still use the Coat Vegeta and Goku, because they're very good, but this God Goku's very good. Paragus and Broly, we already mentioned earlier, are a really good support unit, and then of course God Vegeta is very good as well. You do have to bring these 2, so they are both Pure Saiyans, so that's fine. So Broly lead, and then any 3 of these, you obviously don't need to bring a support really. You could bring the 2 summonable God Goku and Vegeta, and then just bring one of the other free-to-play units. So this Extreme Z area, I know a lot of people hate them and like to complain about them, but it should be very straightforward for most people to do, which is obviously really good, because we want to get these units done and easy aid straight away. So then there is the top legendary summon. So as you can see from the dates, this one comes a week after part 2 starts. So if part 2 is going to start Monday, maybe we could see it as early as Friday, but it's probably going to be the Monday after. And of course, the top legendary summon banner is the one with the 2 featured LRs in Rose, Goku Black, and the physical Broly, Chilai, and Lemo. I did a video talking about all of the 5-year LRs in great detail, so I won't go into huge amounts of detail. Only mention that, of course, this card is very, very interesting because of this way that their passive works. Depending on the orb field laid out in front of you, you have a couple of different options for how you want them to work based on the orbs that you can pick up, which is very interesting. And then Rose is just basically a pure out damage dealing machine. So he is very good. Obviously, Global was in an interesting spot because this guy is coming out after the AGL. Rose got his Easy A. And I would say in the comparisons that I've seen, obviously not being a JP player, I actually did pull this Rose on my side JP account on the second multi, which I feel like may have completely killed my luck for Global. But even testing him out there, he is very, very good damage-wise. But I think the AGL Easy Aid one is probably the better unit defensively. So, but those are the 2 units that come out with the top legendary summon. It is a normal legendary summon banner, so it'll be yellow coins. All of the other LRs will be in there except for probably UI. maybe he'll be in this one. Nappa and Vegeta probably won't as well, because they came out just before the anniversary. It'd be cool if UI... Actually, no, wait, UI should be, because he was in Nappa and Vegeta's banner. So LRUI Goku should be in this banner. Nappa and Vegeta potentially won't be, although they could, and then that would be quite a big W for Global for anyone who is summoning on that banner. So, top legendary summon. Then, this here says about extra sales. Now, the thing is, the sales are ongoing, the ones that we currently have, until past the date that Part 2 starts. But, these are talking about the collaboration gacha tickets. So, they added 100 stone pack, 200 stone packs that came with these tickets. But this was for like a real life ticket thing, so you had to live in Japan. Like, even if you were a JP player, if you don't live in Japan, you couldn't use these. So the problem is, because it's a collaboration with this statue thing from Japan, there is the potential that this will be completely skipped from Global. Now, we could see something else. Obviously, getting some more sales would be nice, especially for us Wales. I do feel like it would be good that they switch this with something else, even if it is just some new sale packs. But the actual, like, Ichiban Kuji thing is probably not going to be referenced at all. Now, this is where we can start talking about potential changes, because with all the stuff that was data mined before the anniversary of the stuff being added to the files, people are really hoping, especially me, that Extreme Super Battle Road and maybe even Chain Battle could be coming to Global during the anniversary. So Part 2 would be a good start to drop one of those. Now, Part 3 I feel like is more likely, because a lot of people from JP complained that Part 3 just wasn't very impressive. There wasn't a lot of stuff that came with Part 3. But I think if they're going to be introducing two big modes, obviously Extreme Super Battle Road is not a new game mode, but it is the next step for Super Battle Road. I don't know if they'd release both of them in the same part. So for me, I think it would make a lot of sense to release Extreme Super Battle Road in Part 2 and then release Chain Battle in Part 3. Because Chain Battle is a whole new game mode with a whole new way to play it. So it makes sense for it to come in Part 3 where there's not as much content. Whereas Extreme Super Battle Road, even though it is the next step, it is a lot harder. It is still just Super Battle Road, which we already kind of know. So I think that would make sense to fit into Part 2. And then there's another Kai summon banner for if you've already gone through the previous one from Part 1. So that is all the official stuff from JP for Part 2. Like I said, it would be very nice to see Chain Battle or Extreme Super Battle Road dropping as part of Part 2 as well, to fill out all of this stuff. Because there's not a ton of new content outside of the Awakenings, and then of course the new LR banner. It's pretty cool though that we are getting obviously a new free-to-play LR. These two units are getting easy A's, and then of course we have the LR banner as well. And then Part 3... only really like the big thing, I guess we can look at it briefly, like I'll do a separate video about Part 3, but Part 3, again there was a new intro, more missions, I think this is, so yeah, this is where he got his easy A, this is where they added the Future Saga stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history, and then weekend missions came back, and that was basically it. So I feel like Part 3 is where we could see Chain Battle come into play. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What are you most excited about for Part 2? I'm sure Wales are probably most excited for the Summon banner. Free-to-play units, free-to-play players even, probably most excited about the Zamasu LR and the two Kid Saiyan cards. But let me know what you are most excited about. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.